Well, we promised y'all a 2-week follow-up, so we're going to take a look at how things growed and what they look like. Our okra here that we set out and transplanted is developed the 3rd and 4th leaf. It's doing real well. That is a spineless okra. Then we have a purple okra. I don't know the name of it, that my brother-in-law gave us. And halfway through on that is our popcorn. That was strawberry popcorn. It's doing real well. Then we have a Japanese popcorn that's doing real well. You'll notice a lot of nut grass in it, but I don't really worry about that too much, because when it gets about knee high, we throw so much dirt to it, it all gets covered up. Then we have a Barnside yellow popcorn. It did not come up as well, but we also got 2 inches of rain 2 days after we planted it, so it packed it, but we've replanted in between. Then our red potatoes here, they have done real well. They're about to start blooming, so we'll be digging potatoes in the next 2 weeks. You'll notice some zinnias left in them. We like to leave a little zinnias because they're pretty. Then we have our row of tomatoes. These are Better Boy Improved, and we've had a lot of luck with them. We don't have as much rust with them. As you can look down the road, we've only lost 2 tomato plants out of 48. And if you look at the bottom, you can see the stages of tomatoes. Right here's your first one. Then's your second stage right above it of tomatoes. And here's your 3rd stage of tomatoes coming on. And here's our 4th right here. You can see the little tomatoes. And it's like that down the whole row. Me and my wife just finished picking the snap beans this morning, and we're canning the last of them now. They have done tremendously well. And we have, if you'll come on down the road, we planted, this is a striped snap bean, or in the family. It's a smaller green bean. We done stripped them pretty good, but you can see it's a little green bean. It gets bigger than that. I don't see one we left right now. We did a good job. Here's the normal size. There's the normal size of it. Then we also plant the Blue Lake variety, which is right here now. I don't know that we left, these are easier to see. That's the Blue Lake variety. It's just not as mature, because we left a few that we can cook in a cast iron skillet with olive oil later. Our squash to my wife's right here, we can look at it while we're here.
What is this?
That's a sunflower we left, a volunteer from last year. And we leave them sporadically, and we plant them in with watermelons and pumpkins to give them shade. Not thick, one about every 10 feet or so. But our Starburst have done real well, and the 8-ball. They've done real well. Well, there's one I missed yesterday. That should have been picked yesterday. But they've done real well. All of them have. We've been very happy with the production. The powdery mildew's starting to set in now because of the evening rains. Here's one here that can show you just how many. This thing is very productive. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there on one that could be eaten today. And this is the 8-ball. They've done very well too. They have done very well.
I can hear the bees.
They sound beautiful. They doing their job. They pollinate and everything. This has always been our go-to variety. It's the Dixie Hybrid Crookneck Squash. It is so, it's just always a winner. We've enjoyed it very much. And the honeybees do too. The bees are really working on this morning after the rain we got last night. Our Silver Queen has done real well. As you can see, it's starting to silk now. So it's a self-pollinator.
Ooh, I saw the pollen coming.
And you can see, there's your silk. This is where the pollen comes from. Right here, you can see when I just bump it. You can see it falling.
Do it again.
And that's what has to fall on the silk to pollinate the corn, where you have kernels, mature kernels. All right, we're at the cucumbers now. Let's see. This one we were real happy with the way it come up. The bush pickling cuke is what it is.
How old are these?
Those are 4 weeks old now. 2 weeks in the tray and 2 weeks in the field. Then we have the Mexican cucumber. Here, they're still real small. Those are some our daughter wanted to try. And that's the end of the cucumbers. On this side, we can turn around to your right with the camera and I can show you the other ones. These we're extremely happy. This is a Boston cucumber and it is doing extremely well. It's very healthy, very hardy. And our other one, this was my wife's pick, was the National Pickling Cucumber. It has done real well. Now, if we're going down, we have some watermelons at the end of this, at the middle of this road. These are sugar babies. That's a sugar baby watermelon. Those are 4 weeks old as well. And that's from the time the seed was put in the dirt. Now, these are Jubilee watermelons. And these are, that's a cucumber that got in here by accident. They're all doing really well. This is a green striped cantaloupe. We don't know how well these are going to do. We collected seed from a honey kiss cantaloupe, and those aren't as big. We don't know if it's going to make the same if it was a crossed hybrid or if it will return and make the same melon. We'll find out. All right, me and my wife wanted to enlarge the garden this year and try growing more pumpkins and gourd type squash. So I cannot remember all these names. I've got them wrote down on a piece of paper. I'm gonna have to read these. This one is a butternut squash, and it's doing well. We had one skip there, but we've already replanted them. Now this one is a zucchini squash, excuse me, spaghetti squash. It's done real well. This is an acorn squash. It's done real well.
How do you cook your acorn, or do you process them in a canner?
And we cut them in half, put them in the oven on confectional bake at 350 with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. 30 minutes later, you're eating good. This is a sweet dumpling squash. I've never grown these before. We'll find out. There's still multiple plants. We always put 2 to the hole, and I pull them up when they're about 4 to 5 weeks older. That way you ensure to have one in every hole. Let's see, that was the sweet dumpling. This is the green striped squash. Let's see, we had 1, 2, 3 that did not come up, so that's actually 6 seed. So on germination, I'd say that one didn't do too well here. Now we have the light squash. What did come up is doing really well. We had 4 plants come up, and they've done really well, which is really 8 plants. So that wasn't but 6 that didn't come up. All right, we got to walk back to the other end. So the rest of them pretty much will look the same, so we're not going to walk through all of it. These are all pumpkins, and you can look down there. We have the Caspercita pumpkin, the Cherokee Tan, a half pint pumpkin, Seminole pumpkin, unknown, so that means we bought a pumpkin, eat it, collected the seeds, and planted it. And that's fun to do. You never know what you're going to get. We have it's a green pumpkin. I cannot pronounce the name of it, but it is probably the best pumpkin out of here. Then we have 2 kinds of gourds here on the end. One's a swan gourd, and then the other one you make bowls from and make the big round gourds. They seem to be doing really well, but I'm scared they're gonna take the whole garden.